Okay, so what Apollyon, Kane, and I are going to do is we're going to attempt to do what we failed to do earlier in Saturday's live stream. By the way, Kane and Apollyon's channels linked below in the description section. We're going to roam around all the states looking for potential moonshine shacks. And spoilers, I don't think that is a moonshine shack, guys.
No.
What, the gazebo?
Yeah, yes, the gazebo, Kane. Yo, I don't think that's a moonshine shack.
Wait, you never know. You never know. Underneath.
I mean,
maybe.
maybe this is probably off the cards too. This right here.
You gotta think outside.
Yeah, box. Yeah, exactly. So, the role of the moonshine shack, or we'll just call it a moon shack, whatever. No, that's an outhouse.
Herbert Moon Shack.
A Herbert Moon Shack. I like that. So obviously, the word shack means small. So,
shack this.
Hey,
oh fuck!
You go shack yourself. Your Michael Bay explosions.
Boom shakalaka.
Okay, so anyways, so that obviously doesn't qualify as a shack, therefore cannot be a moonshine shack. So we're gonna mosey down to Tumbleweeds and have a nosy. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I've roamed around New Austin, and I haven't really found that many spots here out west that would qualify as a moonshine shack. So it's very possible we may not get a moonshine shack out here. Now, maybe this two-story building. What was this? The Board of Lodging. This, I guess, this is supposed to be a hotel.
Yeah.
Maybe this, but it doesn't really qualify to be a shack. So another thing is, it can't have an interior, and it can't currently have an occupant, like a stranger danger. So, no stranger dangers, no known current interiors, and it has to be of shack size and proportions. Now, this red building, I don't think that would count either. I mean,
if this had a door that we couldn't go into, it would probably be a good candidate.
Yeah, that.
Unfortunately, it has no door, hence an interior.
Thank you, Rando.
Who's this gamer?
Rando.
This random gamer.
Okay, so behind the jailhouse, there is a building. It's kind of shit though.
They're all pretty shit.
Oh, you can't. This doesn't count either because it has an interior, so it doesn't qualify. So I think we can write off Tumbleweed as probably no bueno.
Yeah, that's the most likely scenario.
All right.
Forget about Tumbleweed.
I think we should just mosey on and forget Tumbleweed like the population did.
Yeah, exactly. So, like them, we're going to mosey on east to Armadillo. Alright, so we have arrived in Armadillo thanks to the power of fast travel, which makes it a lot easier to get around the map. So, despite the fact this place has cholera, it makes for a convenient location, for some shady operations like Herbert Moon. And the other business that's still open is this bar. So, logically, with all these buildings in the Armadillo area, one of them could theoretically serve as a shack while I grab this collectible. The bank, we can't count the bank. Maybe eventually we can rob the bank. That'd be nice. Because there's already an interior for the bank. So, now we have to walk down the main street of Armadillo and see if any of these actually work as shacks. Now, I don't think any of these are going to. Obviously, that's the sheriff's office. That one, yeah, this would be a great moonshine shack.
Yeah, all decrepit and worn down, and
yeah,
a nice cholera hole dug out back.
But this could work. This one could work. I mean, it's right beside the law. I mean, right under the nose.
Which one?
The one in the middle,
here.
like in between the burnt building and the sheriff's office.
Yeah, the one you
Yes,
set on fire,
that one, Kane.
Well,
don't burn down your possible place of business.
Yeah, that could be your future home.
Ooh, this would be a good shack right here.
Which one?
I ain't working there.
This would be a great shack. This is a great TARDIS shack.
Outhouses don't count. Besides, they already have an interior in the smell.
TARDIS effect, though. TARDIS effect.
Okay, so there's a couple buildings right here. These two are candidates. This blue building, then this brown, black.
Yo, did they not have a porpoise in Red Dead 1.
Well, they don't have a purpose at the moment, but there's buildings over here that we can't use because Undertaker, the gun store, the doctor's office are on this side of the street.
The Undertakers.
Yeah, so we can't use this side of the road. But I mean, this building, this one right here could be one. But this is the doctor's office, if I remember correctly. Of course, the sign should say it. Yeah, so that we can't use. The physician's office, nope. The gunsmith, nope. But the building between the two is another potential Moonshine shack.
Would this up here work?
You know, this is a potential candidate for a Moonshine shack here in Thieves Landing.
Yeah.
It meets the qualifications. It's not too big. The interior is currently closed off.
And if you remove these two fine gentlemen from the front door,
Yeah.
it qualifies.
It does. And Thieves Landing itself is a perfect place for such a shady operation.
Yeah, exactly. What about this place here? Actually, no, that's the fence. That's the fence.
Yeah, they're not going to put it in that building. They'd have to literally move the fence, and I don't think they're going to do that.
I think that building back there is the only option.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I know I've harkened on this before in previous videos and streams. I feel like they made a mistake with Thieves Landing. I mean, say what you will about McFarlane Farm, but they should have had a few other buildings here, like the Bravo, you know, and the bar.
Oh, that was fun.
It looks like we may have one location, or maybe two if you go with this building here, that could be potential candidates for the Moonshine Shack.
Well, yeah, but I think that building might be too big because it extends over in this direction. Down here.
Yeah, that could be a concern. So maybe let's just play it safe, and we'll just say one building. Whereas we have 2 or 3 candidates in Armadillo, we have potentially one Moonshine Shack candidate in Thieves Landing as we head to the Water of Black, also known as Blackwater. Do you guys know what Blackwater actually is?
Do I want to know?
It's RV talk, okay? It's RV talk. So, like, regular water is just water, but gray water is water that is used water from, like, the sink. Black water is water that ends up in the septic system.
The more you know.
I know, right? Now, here's another question I want to present to you, too, while we mosey on to Blackwater. What if, similar to the bunkers in the facility, Rockstar just adds generic Moonshine Shacks to the map? You think they would do that?
They will.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they did that with bunkers and facilities in GTA Online, where they just added in like landmarks for those, along with like the missile silo, Mount Chiliad. So,
yeah, I mean, I feel that Rockstar are probably going to carry over the formula they use for businesses and stuff from GTA into Red Dead.
Yeah.
That's how it seems to be going so far, and I made that point in the video I made.
These houses obviously won't qualify as Moonshine houses, so too big. They're nice, but maybe one day we can actually own some of these sweet houses outside Blackwater. I wouldn't mind owning one. But too big. But there are some potential candidates in Blackwater itself. Now, it could go one of two ways. A, they use existing buildings like we're locating throughout the map of Red Dead Online. Or B, like we have just discussed, they could simply just have generic Moonshine Shacks just pop up in the update that weren't there the day before, but now they're there.
Random gamers.
Hello, random gamers. Don't mind us. Okay, so I think the 2 candidates for the Moonshine Shack in Blackwater are actually close by. I think that maybe this blue one at the end of the street, I don't know why I think it's this one. That would be a candidate, but
I think it's because it's kind of separated from the rest of them.
Yeah, that's how
it's kind of on its own. It stands out a little bit. So what if it's standing there on its own for a reason?
Yeah, or it just happens to conveniently be in a good spot to put a Moonshine Shack. So that's one location, and the other one that I noticed was, I believe, over here, not too far from the post office. I think this could also be another contender, potential candidate for the Moonshine Shack in Blackwater. So, Strawberries is the next town on our location. Now, a lot of us during the stream Saturday were kind of having our doubts about this town. For some reason, it just feels too tight-knit to have a moonshine business, but look no further than right here at this house.
Oh, look, there's a secret little side entrance here.
Oh, really?
What if this is
and a
where
kitty
like,
cat,
there's
too. I love
stairs
kitty
leading
cat.
down? What if here are some stairs leading down to a nice little illegal operation?
Yeah, so right here, right off the bat, how convenient. It's like right here, you know, out in public. The first property you actually come across when you come in the main entrance of Strawberry could very well be a candidate for a moonshine shack. But
Maybe here too.
okay.
I've arrived.
Oh, hello, King. You finally caught up with us. Oh, well, no, this is an infamous house too. So historically, I don't think this would work. a certain individual pays this house a visit in 1899.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Everyone
forgot
hates
about
that guy,
that.
apparently.
Yeah, that
Forgot about
crazy guy.
I tend to not
Yeah.
remember missions involving that one individual.
But
for season stuff.
off topic for a moment, Rockstar. You have a doctor's office in Strawberry, yet no doctor.
Yeah.
Is that an interior?
Yeah. Like
That's an interior.
what the hell, Rockstar? You know, we only have 2 doctors in the game. Would it kill you to give us a third one? Found the blue house outside of Strawberry. A lot of people, I think, are speculating that this might actually be a potential candidate for a moonshine house, which would make sense. So, this could be, it could not be.
I've noticed there's like 2 or 3 houses that we spotted so far that are blue.
Yeah. Something
Is that a
something
sign?
blue.
Is that a sign?
We're going to avoid the upper part of Big Valley because other than that ranch up here, there's nothing else up here in Big Valley that would probably constitute as a moonshine house. And I don't really think anything near Wallace Station would work either. Now, Tank wants us to go to Coulter, but let's be honest for a moment about this. Is anyone really going to want to go up to Coulter just to go to a moonshine house in the middle of the snow with nothing else up there?
Apollyon. I mean, GB. I was about to say Apollyon, though. Well, I'll say it to both of you because you're both.
No, we're not.
Well, all right. Well, all right, Dark Apollyon.
Coulter is probably similar to most of New Austin. It would probably not make sense for there to be a moonshine shack in Coulter, which is why Rockstar will probably put one up there.
Yeah.
We have made it to Valentine to get some of that fancy wine. And there's really not that many buildings that would work. I don't think this house would work as a moonshine shack. We debated it a little bit, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think that this is a candidate or a pass?
I think it's a pass because it's a bit too big on the left here.
Yeah. So.
I'll say yes, even though I don't know which one it is. I'm still on the way.
Jeez.
I'm a slow coach. You should notice by now. I'm a very slow man.
Okay, so that is, I guess, 2 votes to 1 pass. By the way, chat, if there's a homestead that we have come across that you would love to have as your moonshine shack, let us know in the comment section. Now, this is a no because this is currently occupied by some mean woman with a revolver, and a gentleman comes knocking on her door, right? A friendly guy. And how does she greet him? With a gun to his face. How rude. Okay, so that is off the list. Plus, it obviously is a little bit bigger than a shack. But just north of Valentine, there is a few candidates that we think will be potential options. Oh, I ran over this poor lady. Sorry. I'm sorry. It was Galaxy Traveler.
We're gonna get law enforcement on us now.
But anyways, this is one of the potential candidates that we have for a moonshine shack. I think it qualifies. What do you think, Apollyon?
Yeah, I mean, as I said in the stream, this looks like it's, in my opinion, the most likely candidate in this area.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it just has that kind of vibe about it, like innocent homestead. You wouldn't expect much there because it looks quite
Yeah.
down. You wouldn't expect much going on in there.
Yeah.
But
And it's on the outskirts, just overlooking Valentine. Now, another candidate, it happens to be just above the shack. So they could potentially put 2 moonshine shacks side by side. I don't know if they'll actually do that. But this also is another potential Moonshine Shack candidate right here. And it's the same thing. You know, it has that unassuming look to it.
Yeah, very run down.
Yeah, you pass it by most of the time when you're going through Valentine. You don't think about it.
Plus, actually, when you look at the front of it, it looks like if anyone's going to live here, it would be a hunter.
Yeah.
Not a moonshiner.
Yeah, it does kind of have a hunter, like, vibe to it. The horns and the pelts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a good point there. So maybe of the two, if we had to pick one, I think that this is our choice for the Moonshine Shack, if there happens to be a Moonshine Shack in Valentine, and if, once again, Rockstar is going to be using existing buildings instead of just magically making new buildings appear on the map. Now, for everybody following the information that we currently have regarding Moonshiners, you should know that we're going to go to Maggie Fike once she's recommended by Crips, and you're going to have to either be a Trader Rank 5 or at least have one cell completed as a trader in order to get the introductions from Crips to Maggie Fike. Now, she's supposed to be somewhere here in Emerald Ranch. Now, what obviously makes the most sense is her location, her hub, would be a bar. This abandoned saloon. So this could very well be a new bar that people would be able to venture to get their drink on at Emerald Ranch. And maybe she'll end up being the bartender and obviously your go-between for the moonshining business and her particular missions. However, we did notice something of particular interest when we were streaming Saturday. This tombstone. Now I have the wrong thing. There we go. This will work. So this tombstone is right here. Okay, Joshua Burgess accidentally shot August. After much debate, we came to the agreement that the date is 1898. Now, as some of you know, it's been almost all established that the date in the game for Red Dead Online is, what would it be, Apollyon?
1898.
Exactly. And if this happened in August 1898, that means that this happened in the past. And that would imply that this is September 1989? I mean 1980? Yeah, 1898. Yes, 1898 as a poor Wagoneer gets shot by a random player. So, either A, Rockstar has to replace this because I think this ties more into Red Dead Redemption 2, which is set in 1899, or this establishes the game of Red Dead Online existing in September 1898.
Those gamers are kidnapping a corpse.
Well, as long as they don't bother us, I don't care. So, anyways, while we're here, the saloon may or may not end up being Maggie's base of operations. Maybe we help her reopen it. I don't know. But there are some potential candidates in Emerald Ranch that could also serve as our own front for a Moonshine Shack. But then again, it's also potential that we don't get a Moonshine Shack in Emerald Ranch. So, over here, we have this house right across the street from the saloon. I don't think this would work.
No, it seems to have an interior from the window here.
Yeah. So we don't think this would work.
Also, there's a sign here that says supplies, fruits, liquor, dry goods, tobacco, so it's probably a general store.
Yeah, and this is also one of the first Leopold Strauss missions that Arthur does, so I doubt that. So once again, it kind of goes against, I guess, the qualifiers we've put in place. By the way, we see nothing. Carry on your business, sir.
Yeah, do your own shit. I don't care.
Exactly. We don't give two craps. So the only other candidate potentially in Emerald Ranch is maybe this. Maybe.
Interior.
Yeah, but is it
On the roof.
Is it really a shack though? See, that's the problem. Is this a shack?
From the roof, actually, it looks like you can't really get a good look in.
Yeah.
But it looks like it might just be grass under there.
Yeah. So maybe it's a shack, maybe it's not a shack, but it's a candidate. Whether or not it ends up being an actual Moonshine Shack in Emerald Ranch remains to be seen. So I don't really think there's any other options that we have except for this like house right beside the saloon that Kane mentioned. I think you mentioned it Saturday. Like this thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that could be a good alternative. I don't know about this one here though, because like collectible.
No, I don't think this will be a Moonshine Shack, but this could be, like
Yeah,
I said,
no,
Maggie's
this could be, like,
saloon. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's where you do the missions and all that.
Yeah, so this is another potential option for us to have a Moonshine Shack in Emerald Ranch.
I had a look around Ansburg and the surrounding areas, and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah,
anywhere.
I had that issue too, so let's just scratch Roanoke Ridge off the list.
Yeah.
Because as
Just
far as we
doesn't seem plausible.
Yeah, as far as we can tell, there doesn't seem to be a
Well, yeah, like, well, the location makes sense.
yeah.
There's just no buildings that would actually
Yeah.
be a candidate,
No.
in my opinion.
I
just don't see one.
I agree. So we're gonna head on south to Van Horn because there's some potential in Van Horn. I mean, it fits the bill. It's similar to Thieves Landing. It's a very shady place. Very questionable individuals roam the streets of Van Horn. What better place to have a moonshine than somewhere like Van Horn?
Ah, yes.
Okay, so we've arrived in Van Horn. What a great town this is. And
Yep.
this...
Shut off.
Pleasant.
Yes, very, very pleasantly. But, so, this definitely feels like a shack that could work, in theory, as a potential candidate for a moonshine business. So, this would probably be the best candidate, in my opinion, in Van Horn.
Yeah, this was the only building that I could find in the area.
Yeah, because it's in the Goldilocks area. It's not too small, not too big, and all the other buildings are too big, and a lot of them are run down. So I don't think any of these would necessarily qualify as moonshine shacks because it just doesn't meet the qualifications. On the other side of the graph, this could potentially be a moonshine shack.
Oh shit!
So
Being attacked by a gator.
that is, kind of a risk when you're roaming around the swamps. Kind of, sort of.
Help! Help, mister.
So,
Nah, you can fend for yourself.
yeah, we're kind of far to help you anyways. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Apollyon, what do you think? I mean, this isn't a perfect spot. It's away from everything, and it's not too big. There's, obviously, we can't get inside.
Yeah, I mean, these doors here on the side, they don't really seem like a homestead door. Then again, that being said, this one does.
Yeah.
But that would make the question, what would this door lead to? Like, why would they have this door here instead of just another
True.
typical homestead door?
But if we're being realistic, all Rockstar has to do is do a little digital, fix to the door and make it look more habitable.
I mean, it looks like a mini stable, if I'm being honest.
It does. This is true. But, I mean, it still could qualify as a quote-unquote shack. Okay, so we have arrived in Rhodes for our next stop. So we just randomly move from here to there in the map of Lemoyne. So I don't think any of these would work. Because I think, like, a family lives over here, so that probably wouldn't work. But Apollyon did find a perfect house in Rhodes. That could very well be a moonshine shack. Alright.
Yes.
So, this yeller-looking thing, kind of unassuming, ran down a bit. What perfect place to put your moonshine shack in Rhodes than this building?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although I am kind of wondering, why is this door glowing?
That is kind of...
Oh.
Oh, we can go in? I didn't know we could go.
We can go in here, but that's about it. But
I've been playing this game for over a year, and I've never been able to... I never even thought about going through the door.
I'll take some canned vegetables and strawberries. But
Yeah, but... Okay, but I still think this works. I mean, yeah.
Completely disregarding that one little side room there.
Yeah.
The actual house itself is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I know we said a rule about interiors, but that's only like one small piece of...
Yeah, besides, like, we could, like, use this room as some sort of, like,
Yeah.
moonshine storage.
Yeah, so I mean, they could just simply just redo this and then just close the door and just have it to where you walk in, and then the interior is completely different. And most people will be none the wiser because, like myself, who's been playing this game since launch, didn't even know you could go through that damn door.
Yeah, neither did I.
Sadly, I know some of you have been hoping and dreaming that this might be the Moonshine Shack, but no. Clearly, this is a little large to be a Moonshine Shack. So for all of you thinking that the Braithwaite Manor was going to be your Moonshine Shack, well, I am the crusher of dreams. Okay? Sorry, dreams, they're crushed. This might be the best candidate in Braithwaite Manor for a potential Moonshine Shack. And it might actually be my choice, personally, if it actually is viable. Because I just like it. I mean, I like Braithwaite Manor anyways, because I always come here to get apples for the horse. Yeah, it has a great view. You can fish. I mean, this spot literally right here is good for fishing. There's like largemouth bass down here. There's pickerels. There's bluegills. Obviously, I fish here.
There's a fine smoking gentleman here.
Yeah. So this is, in my opinion, a good spot. And it's not too far from Rhodes or Saint Denis or even Valentine. You know,
we have some fine company in the form of this straw-hatted man.
Yeah. So, who doesn't like company? So this could very well be a Moonshine location if they were to put one on Braithwaite Manor, right under the Braithwaite's noses. Even though the Braithwaites kind of fund the Lemoyne Raiders, so too bad, Braithwaites. Yeah. But I like the place because there's a lot of collectibles over here as well. And I do come here on a very regular basis, so I might as well just, you know, have a place to hang my hat. And that'd be a great Moonshine Shack.
Yeah.
I've arrived.
All right. Kane's here, Apollyon's here, I'm here. And we've made it to Caliga Hall.
Yeah,
the back of my horse almost hit me in the face.
I was looking for you guys all day. Where were you? I was admiring the tobacco fields here, you know.
The tobacco. All right.
The tobacco they stole off the poor people in the Caribbean.
Yes. So, there are a few spots here in Braithwaite Manor that might potentially be candidates for a Moonshine Shack. This is most likely not one of those candidates.
Ah, come on.
No, we might not have a TARDIS situation. I mean,
it would be funny though.
I'm not sure how much of a homestead we could fit in here, though. I mean, maybe a fridge, a sofa, bookshelf.
But in all seriousness, okay, so some of us thought that this might actually be a good choice for a Moonshine Shack, and I would be inclined to agree. Of all the buildings on the Caligula Hall property, this would work. So this one's doable. It's not too big, and
yeah, and you can't really see what goes on inside much because there's only 2 windows and they're at the back.
Yeah, so this would work quite well. But the problem is, I think this is where Bo happens to be hanging out. Well, outside. He's not necessarily.
I think he hangs out just here.
Okay, so he's okay. So okay, but either way, I mean, it's not like he's inside the building when we come across him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that's a candidate. This shack. Now there may be a few others here on Caligula Hall that could work as well. Obviously not this barn over here, but probably not this either.
No, some stuff happens with that barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They gotta wait a year though before the magic happens.
But,
spoiler alert.
Okay, so this building
fiery.
Yeah, so this building here is another candidate. It meets the qualifications. It's not too big, and it currently obviously doesn't have any use or an interior that we know of. So another potential Moonshine candidate. Now, there's a few houses over here, but I'm going to probably shoot down these houses as options because these feel like, I guess you could say, worker houses for the workers at Caligula Hall. But, I mean, this one actually is, I think this is basically a copy-pasta of that other building. So, maybe this could also be a candidate. But I don't think they're going to put 2 Moonshine Shacks so close to each other. I think they'll have them spread out. But I do think that there'll be options for us to choose from when it comes to the Moonshack properties. Now, this is going to be the most challenging one for us for 2 reasons. 1, largest city in the game. And B, we have yet to actually go through Saint Denis and look at the buildings the way we have some of the other towns and locations throughout the map. So automatically we have to rule out, once again, most of the buildings because a lot of them are obviously too big to be a Moonshine Shack. And there are some that have interiors and have significance to the story, and also the stranger danger locations. Those are ruled out. So I guess our best bet for a potential Moonshine Shack might be the northern part of Saint Denis in the poor area. So that's where we're going to, I guess.
The slums.
The slums.
Ooh, this is very run down here. Ooh.
Okay, so here we are. Potential options for a Moonshine Shack, and I guess you would kind of expect a Moonshine Shack to be over here. Nothing too big. So the fence is right there, so we can't go there, but over here, these buildings, as far as we know, are unused. So any of these could be potential candidates. I mean, they look big, but they're probably like just built together side by side. So none of them would theoretically be ruled out. Because any of these buildings, these dwellings, are small enough to be a Moonshine Shack.
It's a general store.
Especially this building. I think this is a primary candidate for a Moonshine Shack.
Right here.
Yeah, this is definitely a Moonshine Shack candidate, I think.
Yeah, this definitely.
Yeah.
This is definitely gonna be one.
Yeah, that's one.
What's also convenient is also a campfire as well that's in here, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so people just have some...
Well, there's a lot of... There's a campfire right there. There's another campfire over there. There's like a shit ton of campfires in this one small spot. So yeah, there's definitely a few of these buildings in Saint Denis, and I would once again speculate that if they were to pick properties that already exist, obviously they're going to go with the smaller shack-sized properties. Now, the buildings themselves are not going to be exactly the same size, but yeah, so this is another one. I mean, it's away from all the other buildings, right? It's kind of just on the outskirts of Saint Denis, just north of it. Right out of town. So I think those are all the potential Moonshine Shack locations. I mean, we may have missed over a few, like we said about Coulter. I don't know. We already went over our thoughts regarding Coulter as a bad choice. Just like there really wasn't much of a choice out in New Austin, except for maybe like a building or two in Thieves Landing, or 2 or 3 buildings in Armadillo. Everything else I don't think would work. So I don't think that we have to really consider Coulter, or probably a huge chunk of New Austin. Maybe Armadillo, maybe Thieves Landing. You know, Blackwater has some candidates. Strawberry, potentially the Strawberry area. Valentine, maybe Emerald Ranch. We kind of ruled out Roanoke Ridge as well. Van Horn has at least one option. Saint Denis could have a few options as well, along with Caliga Hall, Rhodes, Braithwaite. So, like we mentioned, either one or two scenarios is going to play out. Either A, Rockstar is going to use existing Moonshine Shacks, or B, they're simply just going to magically create brand new shacks and just scatter them around the map, and those shacks will be Moonshine Shacks. So, which one of those two seems more viable to you two? Apollyon, which one do you think is the more realistic approach Rockstar is going to take?
They're probably gonna just stick with buildings that are already pre-existing.
Yeah.
Because it's... I mean, they could have been working on this for a long time, so they probably did have the time to make completely new buildings. But, and I know Rockstar don't really care for timelines and continuation, but those buildings don't exist in single player, and that would cause an issue for people that care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Rockstar might not, but that's something that I do consider in it.
Yeah. So, my issue with the possibility of it being new buildings is it may have a negative effect on the functionality of the map itself by them adding new buildings, so that's why I would probably rule against the idea, and they would just simply use existing buildings. And there's definitely plenty of, as we've discovered throughout our journeys from the west to the east to the north and the south of the map, there's definitely a few options as potential candidates for Moonshine Shacks. So, Kane, what do you think?
I mean, I personally, when it comes to the Moonshiner stuff, I feel like most of them will probably be in like the newer parts of the map, for example, Lemoyne and the Heartland and Amberino, mainly because I know most people will be like, well, what about New Austin and all that? I mean, New Austin is just a desertless wasteland, really.
True.
There are a few things down there, you know, there are a few good bounties, there are a few good, you know, stranger missions, but really and truly, it's just a wasteless desert, and I feel like Rockstar will probably try and focus on the newer areas, mainly because, you know, as we all know, it's more industrialized, and I feel like it would be a hot spot for this kind of stuff to happen.
Yeah, more civilization, larger populations, and you know what that means? More customers.
Exactly.
All right, so final question. Price tag. How much do you guys think it's going to cost just for the base model, right? Just to buy the Moonshine shack. Now, I think it'll probably range depending on which location, so it's going to be location, location, location. And we already know there's going to be some like customization for decor, and eventually you'll be able to, if you want a country band, hooray for that. But what would y'all predict the price tag, retail price tag for the lovely, new-ish Moonshine shack? Kane, your prediction.
Well, I mean, if we happen to roll, also, you know, like the price for the roll, it's obviously going to be 15 gold.
Yeah, so that, for the roll itself, 15 gold bars, most likely.
I thought I'd just get that bit out of the way first.
Makes sense.
So buying the Moonshine property, I feel like it'll be ranging, and I know it sounds dumb, me saying they might be a little bit generous, but I feel like it might start either, I'm guessing around the 500 or 1,000, that's my lowest when it comes to cheapest around that ballpark. Most expensive, 5k to 6k.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I feel like the most expensive stuff will be, you know, near Saint Denis.
Yeah.
Most of the expensive stuff will probably be in Lemoyne, and the real expensive place, like the most expensive location, will be literally outside Saint Denis. That's my opinion. And I feel like the cheapest location will probably be in Amberino. And just to appease the train boy, he'll be at Coulter.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
$100 Moonshine Shack in Coulter. You're welcome, Tank. It probably won't happen, though,
Tank,
but you can dream. Apollyon, your prediction.
Well, completely. Let's just, for this one, I'm going to assume they don't add the gold to it.
Okay.
I'd say it'll range in. They most likely will, that being said, but this is just assume they don't. Since Kane already said it anyway. I'd say we'll have different sized Moonshine checks, and the price will depend on that. So the small ones would be at cheapest 500 to 700.
Yeah.
Medium, we're looking at 2k, and high 5k.
Okay.
Because to be fair, we have had quite the luck with money since these rolls came in.
This
and I
is
feel
true.
they'll capitalize on that.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
They're gonna take advantage because, you know, collecting and trading and even legendary bounty hunting, those have been fantastic ways of making Rockstar know this, so they're gonna bleed our coffers dry.
I'm inclined to agree with both of you. I mean, like you guys say, with thanks to Frontier Pursuits, we've had definitely some great opportunities and time to make plenty of money and gold, and they're gonna start raising the prices on things. Unfortunately, there's gonna be a quote-unquote balance, and I think we're gonna start to see that balance in effect with the Moonshiners update coming Friday, the 13th of December. I know I was trying to be all dramatic there. But overall, do you guys think that it'll, like, call it now, success or failure? Do you think it's gonna be a big old W or an L?
You want to go first, Apollyon?
Sure. I'm gonna say it will be a W.
Okay. W for Apollyon.
Purely because there isn't much to do in the game still.
Yeah.
And anything is a plus for everybody that plays.
That's how it is for us.
And
We'll take
from the looks of
anything.
And from the looks of it, we're getting stuff that we actually want, like housing and all that. So
yeah, and look,
that's
it's going to be a property, and the homestead part I think is going to serve also as our quote unquote home, our first home, along with the business underneath and the bar and the speakeasy and all that good stuff. So Kane, W or an ale?
Well, if we take the release date out of mind for the whole blooming release date debacle with Casino Heist.
Oh yeah,
Moonshiners. Yeah, I mean, if we're having a release date in mind, L, because, you know, more people are going to be playing GTA over Red Dead release dates and all that. But if we get that out of mind, in terms of content and what Moonshiners bring to the table, I'm gonna say a W. It's gonna be a close W.
Okay.
Like, just by like 1 or 2 points, you know.
Yeah.
I that's how I feel.
All right,
Like,
so
we stay by the bell, as they say.
yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree with Apollyon. The fact that we're just so desperate for new content that right now we're just happy with almost anything. And we accept it as a W, a win. And it's interesting because for some reason, like, several of you, including Kane, has wanted a Moonshiners update. And that seems to be quite a popular role that the community was wanting, and Rockstar, lo and behold, gives us a Moonshiners role. And so I think that alone is going to be a W for the community itself. Whether or not it actually turns out to be the case, along with the Outlaw Pass and all the content that comes with Red Dead Online, remains to be seen. We will find out coming up this Friday the 13th with Moonshiners. And once again, feel free and check out Kane's channel and Apollyon's channel below in the description section. And I want you all watching to let us know, of all the locations and states and regions on the map of Red Dead Online, where would you like your Moonshine Shack location to be? Feel free and let us know below in the comments section.